Good afternoon and welcome to Adamstown Oval in Newcastle for round 4 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. This afternoon, one of the longest droughts in Northern New South Wales history will go on the line as Adamstown aim to end a drought which has lasted almost 20 years. The Rosebuds have not beaten Magic in the league since 1999. And this afternoon for Adamstown, they must win for an entirely different reason. They've started the season poorly. They've lost their first 3 matches, and that must not continue for the second time in 4 seasons. Remember back in 2016, they lost 7 straight to start the year. They don't want to reach that nadir. And for Broadmeadow Magic, after a disappointing start to their championship defence in round 1, they edged out their rivals from across town, Hamilton Olympic last weekend, and they'll be keen to keep that momentum rolling. And with Adamstown's leaky defence having conceded 10 goals in 3 matches, Broadmeadow may see this match as a chance to erase a -4 goal difference, which still hangs over from that particular meeting with Edgeworth. Time to check the lineups for Adamstown. They went down 4-1 to Lambton Jaffers at Arthur Eden Oval last weekend. 4 changes for Shane Cairnsdale Sheriff side. Defenders Ollie Davies and Josh Williams are into the side, while former Magic frontman Chris Berlin starts along with Finley Beasley. And that means Luke Rutledge, Talon Martin and Anthony Wood all drop back to the bench, and Danilo O'Brien is out of the side altogether. For Broadmeadow Magic, just the one change from their 1-0 win against Olympic. And it's one you'd probably expect. Last week's match winner, John Majerowski, replaces Christian Brymora as the central striker, who had a tough afternoon against Hamilton Olympic last Sunday. The side's not too far away. The weather currently is about 23 degrees, the temperature at Adamstown Oval. It teamed down with rain this morning. The weather has burnt off for a beautiful afternoon, although there is a strong breeze from the northwest at about 45 kilometres an hour, which will play some part this afternoon. The coach is Shane Cairnsdale Sheriff in his 2nd year with Adamstown, Ruben Zadkovic in his 3rd with Broadmeadow Magic. Important match for Shane Cairnsdale Sheriff after those opening 3 defeats to start the year. Referee for this afternoon's match is Mark Carter. As you can see, the pre-match handshakes getting us all underway. Adamstown coming into this match 11th on the table. They've scored 4 goals. Probably not too much of a concern, their goal scoring, with Connor Hayden scoring 2 in the last 2 matches. But it's been in defence where they've been quite poor. They've conceded 10 goals in 3 matches at an average of just over 3 per match. And for Broadmeadow Magic, 8th on the table, but that really is only down to their goal difference. They're equal with sides that are just on the cusp of the top 4. They're on 3 points, scored twice and conceded 6. They kept a clean sheet last week against Hamilton Olympic. You can see the 2 captains there, Ben Higgins and Josh Piddington, former teammates, former centre-back combination, I'm pretty sure, with Broadmeadow Magic. Ben Higgins was playing there a couple of years ago, made the move to Adamstown Rosebud in 2018. Josh Piddington, a stalwart, has played over 300 matches for Broadmeadow Magic. So it'll be Broadmeadow Magic in the first half, who will be running into the teeth of this breeze from the northwest, coming from probably your bottom left corner of screen across the top right. So not fully into it, but definitely it will play some part in this first half, with Adamstown looking to take advantage of that. And as we know, some sides prefer to play into the breeze. So Adamstown, from left to right, in their 130th year anniversary kit with the red sash, the famous Adamstown Rosebud kit, and Broadmeadow Magic in their yellow away strip. Mark Carter just having a scan around the ground. His assistants getting all sorted in this round 4 match, the only match of round 4 which is going to get underway this weekend, with every other match washed out. So great to have your company on Bar TV, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. So Mitch Oxborough gets us underway in round 4 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. Peter Haynes is with me in commentary. You're the last man standing, Hainesy. Smudge has gone down with the flu. CT's away on holidays. and great to have your company for this one.
Yeah, thanks, Benny. It's good to be here off the bench. Hope you're feeling a bit better, Damo. I'm sure you're at home watching with a cup of tea and a biscuit. Great to be here. What a day for football.
Well, you wouldn't have thought it this morning. I was actually in Sydney and it was bucketing down with rain there, and I was texting you, Hainsey, and you were telling me it was a similar story here, but what an afternoon we've got. I know it's a little bit windy, but special conditions with the sun and the clouds quickly being blown away.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, Benny, every other game being off today, credit must go to Adamstown's ground staff. The pitch is...
We see Cale Bradbury just on the edge of the box here, trying to create an early opportunity for Broadmeadow Magic. Ryan Ensor, former Rosebud himself, he was there a couple of years ago. Bends this one in across goal. Nodded clear away to James Virgili, who can't keep his shot down. It does hang up there just in the breeze for a moment. Falls back for John Griffiths, who tried to place it. Majerowski's clearance, I should say Ben Higgins' clearance, came off Majerowski, and in the end it will be a goal kick. So some scrambling to do for Adamstown early on.
A frantic start there. Good, as you said, good scrambling for Adamstown, but good signs early for Broadmeadow. Some definite intent there. I was just mentioning full credit goes to the Adamstown ground staff. The pitch is looking an absolute treat considering the morning we've had, Ben.
And we had a walkout on it before the match. It is bone dry. I put my fingers into it and was waiting for a little bit of a damp mud, but there's none. It is bone dry.
Absolutely. I was speaking to our club president, Rick Naylor, this morning, and he said the ground check this morning at about 8 a.m, they were squidging through mud and they were a bit unsure. They called the early games off and took a little bit of a gamble to wait and see, and it's paid off. Full credit to Adamstown Rosebuds Club.
So here's Mitch Oxborough trying to find John Griffiths just about in behind him, and Connor Hayden almost pounced. We know that he's been in great form of late too in his last two. Manoli Pappas going for a little bit of a dart, but he's turned it over. Majerowski, who won Magic the match late with a goal to break the deadlock inside the final 20 minutes at Magic Park. An important result for them after that first up defeat. Looked as though it was heading for a draw, that result, but credit to Magic for finding the late go-ahead goal as Oxborough holds it into the path of Cale Bradbury, yet to open his account this year. He's turned it over to Alex Graham. Now Ollie Davies, who's back in the side. He's giving Chris Berlin a lot of work to do. And a few former Magic men in this Adamstown side. There's a couple that have played senior football and a couple that were part of the Magic youth setup. Ben Higgins and Chris Berlin. I know you played with both of them at your time playing for Broadmeadow Magic, Hainsey, and then also Aidan Von Essen, who's on the bench, and Josh Williams, who's starting for Adamstown. They played in the Magic youth setup.
Yeah, absolutely, Ben, and it's one of the reasons why that stat you read out earlier, almost 20 years since Adamstown have beaten Broadmeadow, it's astounding, really, when you consider how many players annually have a point to prove in this match. It seems to be one of those clubs, Adamstown, that do attract a lot of former Broadmeadow players and vice versa, and it's I didn't know that stat when I was playing at Broadmeadow, but it's one that I find really astounding that Adamstown's such a...
Oh, as it deflects off Majerowski. Well, that was incredible. It may fall for James Virgili, and somehow it's scrambled away by Ollie Davies. That would have been an extraordinary opening to this one.
Unbelievable. John Majerowski getting some rewards there for working really hard, pressing the Adamstown centre-backs there, and really unlucky, a couple of inches either side, and that's that's in the back of the net. Benny Kelly would have sighed a sigh of relief there, no doubt.
Well, he had a tough season last year, Ben Kelly, just the one clean sheet for the Adamstown defence. I shouldn't all pile it on him. It's the whole defensive unit. They kept just the one clean sheet last year and already 10 goals conceded. So maybe, is that the piece of luck that Adamstown needed after a rough start to the year?
Yeah, and it would have been a really clear message probably all week, but definitely in the team talk, I think, from Ruben Zadkovic today that that early goal is going to be absolutely vital, and they don't just want to win this game at Broadmeadow. From what I can see, they want to put in a performance that gets them back on track. So to get in, in good form early, that goal could have really sent them on their way. And Adamstown obviously want to tighten things up. They've had a rough start to the year, and they'll want to make sure they're absolutely rock solid. Benny Higgins with a point to prove. Ruben Zadkovic letting him go from the club a couple of years ago. becoming a new dad. He's got a new lease of life recently, and he's looking for a huge match with his young side.
And they were pretty pumped up, the Adamstown boys, in the dressing room pre-match while I was writing down the team sheets. We're getting right up for this one, and it doesn't take much to get up for a game with the defending champions. That's the thing Magic are going to have to deal with this year, is that extra target on their back. I know everyone loves playing at Magic Park, but now even when they're away from home, teams are out there and want to knock them off their perch. We see Matt Hoole find Vigili. Fleet footwork, and not too well to keep it inside the line, but he's given away the free kick. An interesting move from Shane Council-Sheriff. He's put Josh Williams back into that centre-back role alongside, he's put Ollie Davies into the centre-back role alongside Ben Higgins, and Luke Rutledge has moved back to the bench. Josh Williams has come in at right full-back. So just reshuffling things in the back line. And you really have to, don't you, after conceding, 8 in the last couple.
Yeah, and look, credit to Shane. He's not afraid to do what's needed and make changes when he thinks they need to come. Today they've got a bit of size in the back pairing. And Higo will look to make sure that they're as solid as possible. Great communicator. His positioning is very good, Benny. So lots going to rest on his shoulders today.
This ball just dinked into the midfield and fell for Justin Broadley. Oxborough, and now Griffiths finds Ryan Enzo playing at left back. He's played there the last couple of weeks, and Cale Bradbury takes on Williams and beats him. Still going Cale Bradbury, and he's going to win his side a corner kick.
Yeah, it's a good piece of work there from Cale Bradbury, and it's something that Adamstown are going to have to be really wary of there. Josh Williams can't get isolated one-on-one with Cale Bradbury, one of the quicker players in the competition, and whenever Josh Williams has to turn and chase, he's probably going to be second best to that ball. So something that they'll look to make sure that they can get some cover over quickly on that right-hand side. And
he's been somewhat quiet this season, Cale Bradbury. A very good dynamic run into the box, and there's a header from Josh Piddington, the captain. Scores his first goal since July last year, and it puts Broadmeadow into the lead. He doesn't score many, and he'll enjoy that one, the skipper.
No, he doesn't score many, Benny, but when he does, they're usually pretty decent. And that was a super header. He's got down low, and it's almost behind him when he's made contact with the ball there, and he's punched it back into that right-hand corner of the goal as he's facing it. A really, really good header, good delivery from the corner too. And that's just what Broadmeadow would have wanted.
The frustration continues for Adamstown. The 11th goal they've conceded this season. And from the set piece as well. In the end, they just didn't pick up. Josh Piddington. It's Mitch Oxborough wins the ball. Finds Ryan Ensor. And now Cale Bradbury. So you sense the confidence may now flow for the defending champions. Majerovski. The dink forward. Ollie Davies cuts it out. Oxborough. And now Ensor. Can he find someone in the middle? He finds Oxborough. Fires on goal, and all of a sudden Broadmeadow Magic are peppering the Adamstown goal. It's amazing what a goal can do. And they've got to be really careful here. The next 5 minutes could be key.
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. You can see Adamstown straight away are sitting a lot deeper in that last passage of play. They need to continue to make sure they get bodies forward to support Chris Berlin when they go forward. The deeper they sit, it just allows Broadmeadow to pour more people forward and put them under even more pressure. So interesting 5 or 10 minutes coming up from Adamstown's perspective.
Connor Hayden just unable to keep that one inside the line. Speaking of players that don't score too many goals, as we see Cale Bradbury, can he pick out James Vigili? Just over hit and had the wind behind it as well. That flew over to the far side. Luke Vigili playing at centre back for Broadmeadow Magic. He doesn't score many goals, but he's scored 2 in his last 2 against Adamstown. I think they're about the only 2 goals he's scored in the last few seasons.
That's almost as good a stat as Adamstown not winning in 20 years. I can't remember Luke Virgili scoring many goals, but 2 in a row against Adamstown. It's a collector's item.
Yeah, he scored 1 in the FFA Cup last year, and then once in that 1-1 draw that these sides had in round 17 last year. So here's Mitch Oxborough. This one into the breeze, and, well, I think he puts his arms out and says, well, I gave that one a bit of power. I tried to hang it up in the breeze, and in the end it was too powerful.
Yeah, probably not his best delivery, Mitch Oxborough. He'll know that. The set plays are so important for Broadmeadow. You saw the one that they had, they've obviously scored, so they'll expect better delivery from Mitch, and he'll expect better from himself.
Luke Virgili lumps one forward. Nodded over the line by Drew Grierson, who's a young man playing at Adamstown this year after spending the last few seasons with Hamilton Olympic, his early years of his development. He's just 20 years of age. And he's got a lot of work to do this afternoon, marking James Virgili. You'd expect him to have no respite as Matt Hoole steps onto the right, just overhits that pass.
Yeah, right idea. Looking for that ball inside the defender for Virgili, just to cut in behind. You were mentioning before Luke Virgili. I was interesting to see that they've moved Luke into that centre back role and kept John Griffiths in a number 6 just in midfield. Giving Ryan Ensor a chance on the left hand side. Couple of options there for Ruben Zadkovic, but John Griffiths, I think, made the team of the week in midfield last week, so keeps his spot. And good to see Justin Broadley back in the mix. Had a bit of time out with injury early on the season, and he's not just a great player, but a big personality in the dressing shed, and the boys will be happy to see him back out in the park.
He would have been gutted to miss that grand final last year with the red card in the semi, but he's a terrific player, John Griffiths, as Cale Bradbury really putting the pressure on here. And he gets back up Josh Williams and gives away possession. Bradbury with a pirouette. Finds Oxborough. Does have a bit of time. For a moment then I thought he was going to shoot. Ryan Ensor now to Griffiths. Now Luke Virgili. As you were saying, at the start of the season, if you're going to pick a magic lineup in their best 11, you would have expected Luke Virgili to play on the left, John Griffiths alongside Piddington in the centre-back role, and then Ryan Ensor in that number 6. But different tactics from Ruben Zadkovic, and it worked last week, a treat against Hamilton Olympic.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Luke spent a bit of time centre-back in pre-season. Maybe it's something that Ruben's identified in his game for the future, but it's probably panned out a little bit earlier than Luke's expected, but seems to be working for them today at least.
Hoole between the lines. Cale Bradbury loves playing against Adamstown. He scored 6 in his last 4 against the Buds.
Super little touch there from John Majorowski just to open a chance up for Cale Bradbury. And that's what they'll be sweating on, players like Cale Bradbury and James Virgili. When the ball goes into John Majorowski, making sure that there's motion, making sure that they're a chance to get the second one, because more than likely John Majorowski's able to find them with a little one-touch pass.
Connor Hayden with the turn away from Bradbury. And it's incredible. Such is the quality of Cale Bradbury. We say two games without a goal to start the season is a drought. He's been that prolific. 22 goals in all competitions last season. It's James Virgili. Blazes that one way over the bar. I think maybe caught in 2 minds potentially.
Yeah, it's a sign of a good player when you talk about a drought being 2 games, isn't it, for Cale Bradbury? But he'll be absolutely itching to get off the mark, and it's from Adamstown's perspective, it's probably not when you want to get Cale Bradbury, when he's been a little bit quiet and when he's getting a bit restless and wanting a goal. That's probably where he's at his hungriest.
And as I was saying, he doesn't mind playing against the Buds. 6 in his last 4. That's not a bad record at all.
It's an outstanding return.
Finn Beasley takes on Josh Piddington. He really was a talent unearthed last year, Finley Beasley. And on that occasion, he plays the pass to no one on the same wavelength as he. Back goes Ollie Davies. That was just swirling around a little bit. He did well And you can see, you might be able to see Ollie Davies has some tape. It looks to be on his left index finger. Now, this makes me squirm, but he badly gashed his finger, and it wasn't good. I think it was at work, maybe slicing and dicing, as Chris Berlin attempts the back heel. So that's about as far as I will go.
Yeah, I'm not one for blood and guts either, Benny, so we might just leave that one to the imagination.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I'm just happy CT's not here because he'd probably describe the whole thing. As Matt Hull finds John Griffiths and Oxborough to Ryan Ensor, who is here at Adamstown in 2017, went to Wollongong last year, now back with Broadmeadow Magic.
You can see how deep Adamstown are starting to sit, Benny. Almost 10 of their 11 players in or around their own penalty area.
Matt Sikulski unable to win the ball there. Magic just winning all the second balls at the moment, aren't they, as Adamstown look to clear away there.
Well, you can see when the ball does pop out, you've got Justin Broadley, you've got Mitch Oxbury, you've got Ryan Ensor, you've got Matt Hull, and then John Griffiths as well, just in and around that the circle in the midfield, just waiting for the ball to pop out. Very, very hard for Adamstown to retain the ball when they win it.
This match, the only match in round 4 of the NPL Northern New South Wales going ahead. And quite a decent crowd has built up at Adamstown Oval as Luke Vigili, well, it was an illegal challenge, according to Mark Carter, from Chris Berlin on his former teammate. And Ruben Zadkovic was not impressed with the laboured control of possession at the back, which almost gifted Adamstown a chance. It would have been a 2-on-1, I think. Josh Pinnington was a little higher up the ground. Hull now to Vigili. Quickly turning defence into attack, and Ben Kelly. He's forced into action. Great save.
Yeah, it did really well to hold that, Ben Kelly. Good strike from James Vigili. John Majorowski, always sniffing around, was right on the spot. Fantastic hands from Ben Kelly.
And Luke Vigili straight into the back of Chris Berlin, who goes to ground.
It's good experience there, Chris Berlin. Just got his body in front, slowed himself down, and there was always going to be contact from Luke Vigili in that case. Chris Berlin does well to earn a free kick for his side.
And since he's made the move to Adamstown, he's been quite decent against his former club, Chris Berlin. 4 goals since he joined Adamstown in 2016. Man of the match in the 2011 grand final in the State League against South Cardiff. As Sikulski bends it in, and Berlin, there he was at the near post.
Fantastic delivery. Good run from Chris Berlin. Got in front of Luke Vigili again there. Just couldn't direct the header onto goal. But a little bit of a wake-up call for Broadmeadow here, and that's going to be a way back into the game for Adamstown. Set pieces and quick transitions, I think, are the most likely opportunities towards goal for Adamstown, and Broadmeadow certainly need to be on their toes.
Chris Berlin scored in that 1-1 draw last year in round 17. Luke Vigili, the goal scorer for Broadmeadow Magic. Chris Berlin got Adamstown on the board in that 1-1 draw. As this ball to Griffiths. Good press from Sikulski. They've turned it over. He just couldn't keep his footing there, Manoli Pappas. And now Finley Beasley is barreled over. And all of a sudden, Adamstown are just working their way into this contest. They've had a good few minutes. And as you said, Broadmeadow Magic maybe just a little sleepy.
Yeah, it's all gotten a little bit untidy as they take the free kick quickly.
This one bent in high, and Chris Berlin, was he bumped to ground?
It's an offside.
He was just offside.
Hard in the mouth, a little bit there for Luke Vigili again, I'm sorry. He could have had his hands up in Chris Berlin's back there, and he went to ground, and I heard a whistle and thought, hang on. Saved by the flag.
So the difference between the two sides at the moment is Broadmeadow Magic's captain Josh Pinnington, who headed home inside the opening 10 minutes. And Broadmeadow had a really good spell after that, but the last few minutes has been the Rosebuds, remembering that they haven't beaten Broadmeadow in the league since 1999. They haven't beaten Broadmeadow in any competition since 2006. That was the old President's Cup. And that was before my time, Hainsey, so you'll have to tell me the story. I'm sure a few of our viewers will know what the President's Cup was, a pre-season tournament.
Yeah, I would have been playing that day for Broadmeadow. I can't remember that one, Benny. I'm sorry. I'm sure they were deserved winners, though.
2-1 it was, and I can tell you the exact date. It was the 2nd of March, maybe. Actually, I'll have to double-check that.
I'll take your word for it, Benny. 2nd of March.
Well, I think I wrote it down as I had 2nd of May written down, but it definitely wasn't May, being pre-season, as Oxford nudges it back. Here we go again. Broadmeadow just turning the ball over almost. Matt Hill was strong on the ball, and now Drew Grierson with the intervention.
Yeah, it has gotten untidy for Broadmeadow. They've gone away from what was so successful early on. They were looking to play forward as much as possible. Get in behind Adamstown, turn them around, get them sit deeper. Since the goal, though, Ben, they've looked to probably control possession a little bit more, but more around the middle third of the field, and a couple of cheap giveaways have put them under a little bit more pressure than what Ruben Zadkovic would like.
Luke Virgili. And now Piddington. Yeah, that match would have been in May because it's not quite 20 years yet since the, as we see, James Virgili. 2nd of May, 99. That was the last win in the league. Sorry. That's where I'm getting a bit. So, yeah, that was the last win in the league.
Either way, it's a long time between drinks.
It is. It is. Sorry, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. Been calling rowing this morning, so just getting my dates right. Here's Oxborough. Along the tarmac to Matt Hoole. Dinking it up towards Majerowski. Now Ben Kelly plucks it out of the sky.
Adamstown doing a really good job, or a much better job, I should say, of making sure that those key players, Oxborough and Griffiths especially, not being able to turn forward when they receive the ball. Early on, there was much more time in the middle of the park, and they could see forward, play forward much more quickly, making it a little bit more difficult for them at the moment. More pressure on the ball, forcing them to go sideways and backwards. So Shane Cancel-Sheriff be pretty happy with the last 10 minutes or so for Adamstown.
Very happy. They just need a goal to show for it. So Matt Sikulski is standing over it. He's got the option of Finlay Beasley on his left. Beasley scored 3 times last year. Sikulski did hang up there in the swirling breeze. Josh Williams now with a bit of work to do to track down Broadley. Got the pass to Cale Bradbury. Can they escape this Rosebud's press? They can. Majerowski, lovely one-touch football. Now James Virgili. And well blocked by Drew Grierson over the byline. But what about the counter-attack from Broadmeadow Magic?
That's a magnificent transition. Fantastic play there from Justin Broadley to get that started. A great ball into John Majerowski, and that is exactly why they brought John Majerowski to the club. Good piece of hold-up play, drops it off, and then you get James Virgili in behind quickly and a shot on goal.
So Oxborough whipping it in dangerously towards Luke Virgili, who is looking for his 3rd goal in 3 matches against Adamstown. And now Adamstown, all of a sudden, they're looking to quickly turn defence into attack. It was Graham who found Beasley. And now Pappas made the move from Lake Macquarie to Adamstown during the off-season, and he's played that ball straight to Cale Bradbury, and then he's given away the foul.
Probably not a bad foul from Adamstown's point of view there. It was a bad giveaway in the middle of the park. You've got James Virgili, you've got Cale Bradbury facing forward, running with the ball. Decent foul to give away, 30 metres from your goal.
So Mitch Oxborough standing over it. It will be tricky with the breeze, so it's a powerful breeze from the northwest, so coming across him. And taking quickly straight into the wall, and it struck Alex Graham, and that won't tickle at all. Now dinked over the top, and again Ben Kelly knocked over in the air by Josh Piddington. No whistle from Mark Carter. That would have been interesting if it ended up in the back of the net. And now Virgili knocks down his opposite number.
Yeah, the way the game is, you usually wait to hear the whistle there, don't you, when there's contact between the goalkeeper and an attacking player, but not to be on that occasion.
Yeah, once every now and then you do see the goal stand.
Lambton Jaffers superstar Michael Kanarowski in the house, checking out the opposition, no doubt.
Yeah, that will be a big match when Lambton meet Broadmeadow Magic. They've had a strong start to the season, the Jaffers.
Also saw Central Coast Mariners superstar Andrew Houle just make his way into the grandstand to watch his brother Matt play.
Can I plug the Mariners game tomorrow? Make sure you listen on ABC Grandstand on News Radio, and you'll get to hear me call the game with Adam Kwasnik.
Good segue, wasn't it, Benny?
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's hope the Mariners get up. I really hope they cause an upset, for the Jets' sake at least.
Yeah.
Ryan Ensor.
Good to see Alan Stajic at the helm of an A-League club. Good to see Adam Kwasnik in the commentary box.
Yes.
Ex-Mariners superstar. Remember chasing Adam Kwasnik around at Blacktown City back in the day. Fantastic player.
Yeah, so that's a big one. Adelaide and the Mariners tomorrow from the Central Coast, 5 p.m. tomorrow. The Jets actually playing at the moment. I was going to, I'm sure people watching on the stream probably know the score, but I was going to give a quick update in just a second as James Vigili, former Jet himself, finds Oxborough, another former Jet. It's bent in. Clearance away by Ollie Davies.
Good to see where the priorities lie from the Kanarowski family here watching the Broadmeadow Magic play and Adamstown Rosebuds, leaving it to Ben and the rest of the Jets crew to do the job against Wellington, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's a huge match as Manoli Pappas puts it over the line, and Alex Kanarowski, he's coming back slowly but surely. He's been playing 20s the first couple of rounds, I understand. Not good news for the Jets. What are they? 1-0 down. David Williams scored after 1 minute. That's his second goal in a couple of games against the Jets, I'm pretty sure. Scored in the game in Newcastle.
Yeah, just on Alex Kanarowski, as there's a turnover just outside the area there.
The clearance from Pappas has ricocheted off a couple. Vigili hangs it up towards Bradbury, but it's a long way behind him. That would have just caught up in the breeze.
Yeah, I was just going to mention Alex Kanarowski there, Benny, a player who's done it really tough over the last couple of years with injury. He will be like a new player for Broadmeadow once he's back. I know that the coaching staff and the rest of the squad are, really excited to have him back. He's looking fit. He's said he's, almost back to 100% fitness, and it's great to see him back in the fold. He's a great kid. He's a really important part of the club, and I can't wait to see him back out on the park.
How tough is it mentally whenever you get an injury as a player? I know, see it, the ball falls for Finn Beasley, and diving in was Matt Houle. Good challenge, just nudged the ball out wide. Falls back for Sikulski. Lovely 1-2 play with Hayden and Sikulski off the bar. That was stunning football from the Rosebuds, and it deserved a goal. They'll win a free kick now. Yeah,
Sikulski, great strike. Absolutely rooted to the spot. There was Paul Bitts, and a fantastic piece of interchange just on the edge of the area there. Adamstown unlucky not to be, level at 1-1 here. Good opportunity now. The free kick just outside the area.
As we were saying, Alex Kantarowski have to be so mentally tough to come back from these knee injuries that he's had a couple of times, not just once.
I remember, I get goosebumps talking about it. I remember the second time he did his knee was an FFA Cup game. Pretty much, the first game coming back from a knee reconstruction, and he went down. He knew straight away, and it was, it was awful, absolutely awful to for him to realise what had happened. And I don't mind saying it was a pretty emotional kind of day for the team, just knowing what he has to go through again. And full credit to Alex. He just picks himself up. He knows what he has to do. He gets it done. There's not many people I don't think could go through what he's gone through and, be the kind of person he is. So full credit to him, and I can't wait to see him back out on the pitch.
No, you're exactly right. Here's the free kick. Hayden went for power. It wasn't far off. He's got some confidence at the moment. And I think it's just getting the number plate. It's Matt Sikulski, I think. He may have dislocated his finger, potentially. He's getting it fixed up by the physio on the sideline.
He didn't look too fussed about it, does he? Straight over. Bit of a pit stop. Got it straightened out. And
well, now he's got to stay off the field. So they're down to 10 men momentarily, Adamstown Rosebud. It's a little bit of confusion. As Luke Vigili whips one up the ground. This will roll into the arms of Ben Kelly.
And I tell you what, this has been a really good reaction from Adamstown. They did it really, really tough in the first 10 minutes. Obviously going a goal down, and you thought, this could get a little bit messy in the first half, but great reaction from the players. They've ridden the storm and probably should be 1-1.
Yep, I'd agree with that. It's just one of those things for them. When you're down the bottom of the table, those kind of things just don't go for you, do they? Smacking it into the bar after some beautiful build-up from the Rosebuds. But it's still Josh Piddington's goal the difference.
I think Sokolsky could have is it a wedding ring or is it some other type of ring problem? They've got the
lubricant
sunscreen or lubricant or something trying to get it off.
Well, it's a serious problem because they're down to 10 players. Adamstown Rosebud, as Ryan Ensor takes them on down the left. He'll win a free kick.
Sokolsky back on the park.
So back to the full complement, Adamstown Rosebud.
Was it, Benny, your memory is much better than mine. Was Damien Murray who had to be substituted early days of the A-League because he couldn't get a wedding ring off? You remember that
might
one?
Be too early.
Wow.
For my liking. I can tell you Damien Murray does some commentary for ABC in Adelaide. But I wouldn't. That's an incredible story.
Yeah, I remember came on to the side.
Who whips it in?
I remember it came on off to the sideline. I think they tried so hard. I think they might have even drawn blood, but couldn't get the wedding ring off and had to be substituted.
That would be shocking.
I'm sure the wife would be happy knowing that it doesn't come off too easily.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to cutting those kind of things off. It's very tight with the skin. Yeah, a bit too squeamish once again. We've had that as a theme running through this, this first half. So Ryan Ensor to Griffiths. Now Luke Virgili. Round 4 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. Adamstown Rosebud, bottom of the table. Broadmeadow Magic sitting in 8th place, but just one win outside the top 4. And just 4 points from top of the table. It's very tight early doors in this NPL Northern New South Wales season. We've had a few washout matches, and this round there's going to have to be a few more replayed.
Again, Adamstown doing a really good job here. They would prefer to have the ball, obviously, but if Broadmeadow are going to have possession, then Adamstown are absolutely happy for them to have possession in these kind of areas. The majority of the touches, Luke Virgili, Josh Piddington, Enzor, Hool. Adamstown in really good shape here and a really disciplined second half of the first half.
As Oxborough just chips this one right into the path of James Virgili, brought down a couple of touches. Now he takes it away from goal and turns it over to Manoli Pappas, who stretches his legs down the left-hand flank and then runs into a bit of bother. Sokolsky, shoulder to shoulder with Oxborough. Thought he'd done well to keep it inside. He hasn't. Magic with the throw as we tick down towards half-time.
Who with the throw in? Again, forced backwards. Piddington, Virgili seen a lot of the ball in this first half, Ben.
Now Cale Bradbury in the shadows of the famous trees here at Adamstown Oval. Virgili. Neat 1-2 with Oxborough cut down, and well, it's going to be a free kick on the edge of the box. I was looking straight at Mark Carter. He didn't put down towards the penalty spot. He's just given the free kick, so that is a huge break for Adamstown because it is very, very close to that 18-yard box.
It is, and it's exactly what Ruben Zadkovic would want from James Virgili there. We saw a lot from Cale Bradbury early on, receiving the ball in wide areas, cutting in, making defenders make difficult decisions. A metre or so closer towards the goal, and that's a penalty kick.
Can they make it count anyway? Well, he's gone close, Mitch Oxborough, from that top left corner.
It's difficult to see from this angle, but from Mitch Oxborough's reaction there, that must have been awfully close. The last little passage of play there is what Ruben Zadkovic will want. They'll want the ball back into those dangerous areas to where their players Cale Bradbury, James Virgili especially are most dangerous. Get them running at defenders again, as they were earlier on, starting to ask questions.
So inside the final 10 minutes of this first half at Adamstown Oval. Round 4 of the NPL Northern New South Wales, and Adamstown looking to end a nearly 20-year drought in the league against Broadmeadow Magic. They haven't beaten them since 1999. And that was the last year, I believe, they played in the grand final. Here's Chris Berlin. Now Grierson. Griffiths hooks it away. It's a big year for Adamstown Rosebud, their 130th anniversary. They're having a dinner in late June. We'll get that exact date for you in a second, but it's going to be a big night at Western Suburbs, so if you haven't got your tickets, make sure you do, as Matt Sikulski can't keep that one inside the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Been looking forward to that night. I was just talking before the game to Socceroo and Adamstown Rosebud's legend, Mr. Joe Sinkowski, whose face is painted on the wall of Adamstown Rosebud's ground here. A club with super history, many Socceroos. Not many clubs are, in the position to have a 130th anniversary dinner. So if you can make it, make sure you don't miss out. I'm looking forward to it.
Saturday the 22nd of June, that one is. So make sure you grab your tickets. Wonderful night. Expected at the Starlight Room at West's. They've got a bit of work to do at the moment, Adamstown Rosebud. They've lost their first 3 to start this season, and down 1-0 here against the defending champions. Oxborough looking to link up with Virgili. Instead, he tried to whip one across goal. Broadly, Virgili, great save from Ben Kelly. Point blank save it was.
Fantastic save there from Ben Kelly.
Matt Sikulski looks up, saw the run of Beasley, but Broadly cut it out. It's a save he had to make, because if they go behind by 2, it's going to be almost mission impossible.
Yeah, absolutely, and you would have put your house on James Virgili to score there. Inside 10 yards, put his foot through it. Absolutely magnificent reflex save from Ben Kelly, and that's why Shane's Cansell Sheriff has brought him to the club. He's an experienced goalkeeper, plenty of quality, and he's kept his side in it there just before half-time.
Poole, and now Broadley. Came back into the side last week, Justin Broadley, after a groin injury kept him out of their opening round defeat to the Eagles. Real workhorse in the midfield. It's Grierson. Tried to whip that one away. Couldn't do so. And Virgili, fed in there by John Griffiths. Grierson, you saw the length on that throw, almost up to halfway.
It was against the wind as well, a huge throw.
Ensor. Now Luke Virgili. Finds his brother. Found his brother on multiple occasions last week against Olympic, and Virgili bending it in. But Ben Kelly.
Yeah, not the cross you would have wanted there, James, but really positive play again. Great first touch to bring it down. One-on-one, gets him behind his defender and tries to just whip that cross in too close to the goalkeeper on that occasion.
So
looks to be...
Sorry, Hainsey.
I was just going to say he looks to be the most likely outlet for Broadmeadow at the moment, James Virgili.
Surprising, he scored that terrific goal in round 1, but just 1 goal in his last 5. He could erase that right here as he just lost possession. He was too quick in the end for his own good in the end, James Virgili. Overran the ball, probably. Probably say still close to the quickest player in the league. 26 years of age, so still well and truly in his prime. Ben Kelly. His pass misguided there towards Drew Grierson, who did put him under a little bit of pressure, the left fullback. Now Adamstown just struggling to find their way out of their own defensive third. Magic with the best spell of late. Griffiths to Hoole, and now Oxborough. Found John Griffiths, who may have just got a little touch on that, as Vigili hangs it up. Majorowski, and let Griffiths have the shot. Majorowski with a shot in the end, and Ben Kelly smothers it. He's been a rock at the back for the Rosebuds, as BK.
Another really good save there, Benny. Difficult one to get down to so quickly.
And you can see there John Majorowski trying to set up John Griffiths as he chested that one down. So we see the first yellow card come out. Goes the way of Alex Graham.
So Andrew Hoole over the ball.
Matt Hoole.
Oh. Maybe they'd like Andrew Hoole over the ball.
As he hobbled that one in. He scored some nice goals from the old dead ball this year, Andrew Hoole. A couple against Melbourne Victory, I remember. It's John Griffiths. Just got a little clip. Sikulski's frustration there for all to see. Inside the final minutes until half-time. Now, is that worthy of a yellow card? The ball just kicked away.
Yeah, John Griffiths asking the question of Mark Carter there.
You don't see it too often these days.
No.
You really have to thump it away, don't you?
You do have to make it pretty obvious nowadays.
It's Matt Hoole. Magic would be content with a one-goal advantage, but they wouldn't mind a second as Bradbury into the backside of Ben Higgins, and then Oxborough and Graham come together. Came off Oxborough last. Up goes Luke Vigili. That one skews off the side of the boot of Josh Williams. He's come to Adamstown this year from Maitland. Graham. And now Ensor. Here's the throw from Williams to Chris Berlin. On the swivel and turn, finds Connor Hayden. They know how dangerous he is, Broadmeadow Magic. And then Alex Graham, he's given away possession to Majorowski. Finley Beasley came back to do some defensive work for Adamstown. Just really heating up here before half-time. Crucial few minutes. Matt Hoole with open pastures in front of him. Broadley's pass gave Piddington a little bit of work to do. Now Griffiths to Hoole. Matt Hoole looking right and left. Curling one into the path of Luke Vigili. Broadmeadow Magic, they've been good in matches away from Magic Park. They've lost just 3 of their last 21 away matches in the NPL Northern New South Wales. And at the moment, they're looking good to extend that.
Just muscled out of it there, Carl Bradbury. Wasn't too impressed, and have a couple of words there with Mark Carter. Never going to win that conversation, though.
No, it's hard to win a conversation with the referee as a player.
Absolutely, as it should be.
Here's Drew Grierson to Ollie Davies. Just the one blemish for the Rosebuds in the first half, and it was just a little bit of sleepiness from a corner. And they have changed their back line up this afternoon, so maybe they were just trying to gel in at the start of this match. I know they would have done a bit of work at training during the week, but come into the match situation, and Josh Piddington wriggled free and scored for Broadmeadow Magic. Apart from that, Broadmeadow have had a few chances. Ben Kelly smothered most of them. Adamstown have had some chances as well. Matt Sikulski hitting the bar. That's probably the best of the home side's opportunities in this round 4 encounter. Ben Higgins just dwelled on possession, and Mitch Oxborough looking to pounce. But he was calm and composed, Ben Higgins. The ball drops into the path of Connor Hayden, who looks up and fires the pass to Chris Berlin. Up against his former teammate Josh Piddington. He's saying it came off Piddington last, but the assistant referee not agreeing.
Two heavyweights going head-to-head there, Piddington and Berlin.
I think they're having a little conversation as well in the centre of the park.
Might be comparing how many push-ups they can do.
Thought they were asking whose house for dinner tonight. As that will do us for the opening 45 minutes at Adamstown Oval. It was Josh Piddington who got the scoring started in the opening 10 minutes. Put Broadmeadow Magic ahead from the corner. And then it was Magic who had the best portion of the match. And then Adamstown came right back into it. Matt Sikulski hit the bar after a beautiful piece of build-up. And then Broadmeadow just controlling things before half-time. At the break, it is Adamstown Rosebud 0, Broadmeadow Magic 1. Peter Haynes, just your quick thoughts on that first half, and then we'll take a quick break.
Yeah, I think obviously a great start for Broadmeadow, and apart from the scoreline, I think Broadmeadow will probably go into the half a little bit frustrated. Adamstown should be pretty comfortable with their first half. They recovered really well. They stifled Broadmeadow for large parts of that half, and they've got some positive things to work from. Broadmeadow will want to get on with things in the second half. They want to be much more positive, and they'll want to shut this one down early on, but haven't been able to do so far.
Well, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back in 10 minutes. It's Broadmeadow Magic, the visitors, looking good to extend that streak over Adamstown in the league to 20 years. We'll be back in 10. Welcome back to Adamstown Oval, round 4 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. And it is the home side down by a goal to nil. Josh Piddington, the difference between the two sides. And it will be Adamstown in their green kit with the red sash from right to left of screen in this second half, looking to bridge the deficit. Chris Berlin, former Magic man, former grand final winner, premiership winner with Broadmeadow Magic, looking to score against them this afternoon and aim to end a almost 20-year drought in the league. Adamstown haven't beaten Broadmeadow since 1999. So back underway, second 45 minutes, the final 45 minutes of round 4 this match, the only one to get underway on a beautiful afternoon. After a wet start to the day, Peter Haynes, can Adamstown get their way back into this match?
Yeah, well, 5 minutes in, Benny, I would have said probably no, but the rest of the half, the first half, they were pretty good, well structured, disciplined, so every chance of getting back into this game.
Ben Higgins attempted from distance. Now, if there's one man who doesn't score many, it is him. I think he scored his first goal since 2009 last season against Maitland in their 2-2 draw in round 14. So that just shows you one goal in about 10 years.
Ben, he scored quite a number. When he was at Broadmeadow, played a few under-20s games and scored quite a few in those games. He fancies himself over a dead ball, Benny Higgins. That chance probably a bit optimistic.
John Majerowski with his back to goal. Oxborough along the tarmac, and there he is, Ben Higgins. That's what he does best. Intervenes. And now Connor Hayden swivels away from Oxborough, who is charging after him. Ollie Davies got himself into a pickle and turned it over to Vigili. Did Drew Grierson change his line? Not according to Mark Carter. The young 20-year-old doing enough, and now he's making the overlapping run down the left. Bounces in front of James Vigili. For a moment, I thought he may lash at it with the right. Decided against it. Oxborough. Look at that. Dink over the top. Vigili tried to fire it across goal and off Pappas.
Positive start for Broadmeadow. I'm sure Ruben Zadkovic would have made his feelings pretty clear about the second period of that first half. They've come out and looked far more positive, as they did in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the first half. Let's see if they can continue the momentum. Josh Piddington looking likely there. Benny Higgins with the responsibility of marking the goal scorer.
As the corner whipped in and up. Well, Piddington got his head to it and headed it back to Matt Hull. Away from goal in the end. Oxborough hooking it up. Piddington was flying. And plucking it out of the air is Ben Kelly. And man down for Adamstown. And it is Drew Grierson.
Yeah,
up slowly.
A brave piece of defending there. Josh Piddington had a good run on it. Good delivery from Mitch Oxborough. Josh Piddington, it's not like him to pull out of a header. And Grierson just got a little bit of contact there. He looks to be okay-ish.
Well, Hainsey, you'd remember this better than me because stats only go back so far with the local league. Do you remember a match where Josh Piddington scored a double?
Ooh, that's a tester. I'm sure he'll tell me.
This one dinked forward. Up goes Chris Berlin.
A double for Broadmeadow. There was no own goals.
Well, we'll start with a double for Broadmeadow, and if we can't find any, then we'll count own goals as well. Drew Grierson on the bounce. Chris Berlin, I thought he was asking a little too much there of Mark Carter.
The Josh Piddington double, that is one for the memory bank.
Rare as hen's teeth, you'd say. Oxborough. Is there a handball? No. Appeals from the Magic men, and Drew Grierson takes off. It just stopped up near the shoulder of Grierson.
He's done well there, Drew Grierson.
Alex Graham. Ball just rolling in behind him, but he was able to track back in control. And Finley Beasley given a little too much work.
Yeah, just couldn't rope that one in. It was a raking ball across the field, and Beasley just couldn't get the touch he wanted to get him behind right Enzor. Goes out for a throw. Looks like the wind has died down a little bit in the second half. Corner flag still waving.
I can tell you, Hainsey, Josh Piddington has scored 3 goals in the last 5 seasons in the NPL. So in terms of seasons where he scored 2 in one match, yeah, they would be quite rare, if any at all.
I'm sure it would have been done, and I'm sure he will have it stored away in his memory bank there. Might hit him up after the game, see if he can refresh my memory.
Luke Vigili. Speaking of goals, 2 in his last 2 against the Rosebuds. Ryan Ensor. His last goal was for Adamstown, Ryan Ensor, in 2017. Now John Griffiths.
For a side who has scored as many goals as they have in the last few years, Broadmeadow, they do have quite a few players who don't score many. Look at John Griffiths, Luke Vigili, Matt Hoole, Josh Piddington. Not a whole lot of goals between those lads. They leave it to the boys up front.
Yeah, well, the amount of goals that players like James Vigili, John Majerowski and Cal Bradbury have been scoring the last few years, it's been so impressive as Matt Hoole goes to ground. And speaking of Matt Hoole, scored his last goal. I remember it distinctly, calling it was a midweek match against Maitland in 2016, June 2016, almost 3 years ago. Smashed it into the top corner just after he got back from an overseas trip.
Absolutely, I remember it well.
It's Oxborough again. Hangs it up to Piddington at the back post, who got his head to it. He's winning a lot of balls in the penalty area at the opposite end as Kelly rolled it out, and Cal Bradbury almost took full toll. As flying through there, Oxborough on Graham, and out comes the yellow card.
My goodness.
We're lucky to stay out there.
Absolutely lucky to stay out there. 2 feet challenge is off the ground. Mark Carter's on the side of yellow. My opinion, he's probably lucky to still be out there, Mitch Oxborough.
And you turned away, Hainsey. I know the viewers can't see your reaction. You were fearing the worst there for Alex Graham. So they're both in the book now. Graham and Oxborough. And he's limping quite heavily. You can see Alex Graham in the midfield. Majerowski thinking it over the top now to James Vigili. Down towards the byline, and Drew Grierson puts his backside on the line again.
He's been good, Grierson.
That one rolled up, appeals from the crowd about a handball. None on the field though. Piddington, look at him, charge forward. Rounds Grierson and hangs it up, and there he is again in the way.
He's had a good second half already. He was decent in the first half. He's had a really good start to the second half, Grierson. He's in the way of everything at the moment. He's got a lot to deal with down on that right-hand side for Broadmeadow. James Vigili.
So Oxborough bending it in. It was Connor Hayden who got there with the header away. Second ball for Hoole, and Oxborough dipping it in. And Chris Berlin. There he is doing some defensive work.
Got a good piece of shin pad on that one, Chris Berlin. Anywhere will do.
As long as this doesn't find its way in the back of the net, he'll feel bad if it does end up there. It's curled in. Ben Kelly got an arm to it, and it was Josh Piddington who clattered into him.
There's Dodgem cars in the middle of that penalty area.
I've never seen Josh Piddington have so many chances in one match.
Probably since he got a double that day.
So Luke Vigili, the long throw. The ball falls back for the clearance away. Now Chris Berlin.
That's well played, Berlin. That's exactly what they need from him. He's going to be a long second half for Chris Berlin. He hasn't got a whole lot of support up there. He just needs to hold the ball and bring others into play. He does it really, really well.
Chris Berlin tracks it down. Almost played it into the path of Vigili, but Drew Grierson was just in there in the nick of time. Davies. And now Ben Kelly. Calmly to Ollie Davies. Back from that finger injury. Sikulski. He's just swarmed by yellow shirts. And now Oxborough. Really, really good tackle there from Manoli Pappas. And up goes Chris Berlin and couldn't control it under the pressure from Luke Vigili, who quickly looks up and aims to the speedster on the left, Cale Bradbury. Still the lead. Broadmeadow Magic have it, but can't double it and put Adamstown to the sword just yet.
So lights have gone on, Benny. It's gotten dark quite quickly here at Adamstown Oval.
And it's got a little chilly as well. This is probably the first week that I've been a little cold as the sun's gone down. It's been such a balmy start to autumn. Oxborough and now Bradbury under some pressure. Well, was there much in that, Ainsy? I didn't think there was much in that.
Bit of experience from Cale Bradbury there. He's made the referee make a decision. And there's probably enough contact in it, but he knows exactly what he's doing there, Cale Bradbury. Mark Carter, he bought it, and free kick in a good position for Broadmeadow Magic. Oxborough and Hoole over the ball.
Maybe it's us here in the commentary box wanting a bit of free-flowing football, and it just stymied things for a second. So it's Mitch Oxborough or Hoole, and it's Hoole who takes, and it's Piddington again who's there, and the strike from John Griffiths, and then Luke Vigili had a go. Well, the three most unlikely players in Broadmeadow's side to score have all had a chance there. They all had a bite at the cherry. And in the end, Adamstown profit from it. Finn Beasley, he's hung on to possession a little too long, you sense there.
That's good work from Cale Bradbury there, tracking back, helping his team out.
This is where they are so dangerous, Broadmeadow Magic. And as soon as I say that, Cale Bradbury's pass goes astray. And then he's done all ends up by Drew Grierson. Tell you what, he'd be unlucky if he didn't win Adamstown's Players Player after this afternoon's performance. Drew Grierson, he's been quality.
He has. He's been outstanding today. There's not a whole lot of him, but he's put himself in some important places today. He's blocking shots. He's getting his body in the way. He's making tackles. He's tracking runners. He's been very good. Remembering
previously he's been with Hamilton Olympic, moved over to Adamstown Rosebud. The two closest clubs in the competition, really. It's about 1 kilometre, if that, between the two grounds, as Ryan Ensor takes them on down the left, and the less said about that ball into the box, the better.
It started so well there for Ryan Ensor, a little in and away, and got in behind the Adamstown defender and trying to wrap his foot around that one for Majorowski into the penalty area. Just got it a little bit wrong and out for a goal kick.
Magic in their last 5 against Adamstown have conceded just 1 goal. Combined aggregate of 11-1 over those 5 matches, and that goal was scored by Chris Berlin in the most recent match. As Grierson was backtracking. Free kick brought back. No advantage for Broadmeadow. And at home here at Adamstown Oval, they've won just 6 of their last 40 matches. Adamstown, it's been a rough trot.
Well, whenever you've got a bloke like Chris Berlin in your team, you're a chance of scoring goals. He's scored so many important goals over the years. He always seems to pop up when his team needs him. So Broadmeadow are absolutely not out of the woods here at 1-1.
Well, it's still a goal. Adamstown are a red-hot chance. Ball falls on the edge of the box for John Griffiths. Last time they were here at Adamstown Oval, Broadmeadow Magic beat Hamilton Olympic 2-1 in the FFA Cup Round 7. And last time against Adamstown, it was a 4-0 thumping. Cale Bradbury a couple, John Majorowski 1, and Cody Carroll scored 1 as well. He's on the bench, and you'd probably expect to see him later on in the contest. There's Hoole. Surveyed the options and tried to just shift the ball to Cale Bradbury.
Just speaking of Hamilton Olympic, their superstar Scott Pettit is in the house today, watching his best mate Matthew Hoole run around. He'd be doing a little bit of research, no doubt. He's disappointed that their match was abandoned today because of the wet pitch. Getting his football fix over at Adamstown Oval.
Yes, and Matt Hull tried to slide out. Man, we were just talking about Finley Beasley. Has Chris Berlin inside. Does he take them on himself? He finds Berlin and Luke Virgili cut it out. And you saw by the reaction of Chris Berlin how close that was. Majorowski to ground. James Virgili has possession for Broadmeadow Magic. Josh Williams tried to give him a tug. Oxborough now turns away from the pressure applied by Sokulski. And now Bradbury skips over a couple. Now Oxborough on the swivel and turn. Great scramble from Adamstown Rosebud. Ensor and Griffiths. Along the tarmac to Mitch Oxborough. Over there in front of the Adamstown Bowling Club.
You mentioned Cody Carroll just before there, Ben. That little play just highlighting that, Broadmeadow may be looking at a change fairly soon. There's, Griffiths and Juddy there in the middle of the park. He's playing as 2 6s. Means that in those quick transition moments, probably not able to close the gap and support the ball.
Virgili fired that one at the near post. Again, couldn't get it on target though.
Good opportunity there from Chill. Yeah, just in those transition moments, Broadmeadow just having a little bit of difficulty being able to support Virgili, Majorowski and Bradbury. So I wonder whether there's an opportunity for Cody Carroll to come in and be a bit more of a link between Mitch Oxborough and Griffiths. See John Bennis on the Broadmeadow Magic sideline there, one of the better midfielders to run around in this competition. I'm sure he's the mastermind behind those kinds of decisions. He'll be giving his input into what he thinks is best. Good addition to the coaching staff to have such an experienced player and someone who's been at the club for so long on the books.
Yes, with Anthony Richards. Those two alongside Ruben Zadkovic, Broadmeadow's head coach. It's Matt Hull and Justin Broadley link up. Josh Pinnington, the goal scorer, if you have just joined us. His header in the opening 5-10 minutes, the difference between the sides. Up looks Oxborough, finds Cal Bradbury, and Higgins came in from behind and gives away the free kick. And just had a quick glance at the score of the score in the A-League, and it's the Jets still down by a goal to nil against Wellington Phoenix. So a similar story, an early goal. So Magic with a free kick. And it's Matt Hull. Stands over it and bends it towards the back post. There was Josh Pinnington again. It's going to be a corner kick. So he'll get another opportunity, the Magic skipper, to score a double. I know he definitely has not scored a double in the NPL era. Can he make it a first here? 32 years young. Bent in. A little too tight in the end, but I'll get another bite at the cherry. Broadmeadow Magic and Mitch Oxborough.
Looking for Luke Virgili, made the near post run there, looking to get something on the ball. Little flick on maybe.
So Oxborough again. Kelly, did he get a punch to it? Maybe Ben Higgins as well got a nod on it. And here's Alex Graham looking up. He's got Luke Virgili coming from behind. Steps away from him. Now Grierson. Sokulski. Can they unlock the Broadmeadow Magic defence, who have not conceded since round one? And Christian Brymora is going to replace John Majorowski. The Magic fans appreciating the effort of Majerowski.
Yeah, good shift of Majerowski. Probably didn't see as much of the football as what he would have liked today. But some important passages, holds the ball up so well and brings other people into play. So good shift as usual. And
Vigili has a total air
see
swing
a
on his
foul
opposite.
there from James Vigili, and we see a very different player coming on. Christian Briamora, absolute lightning, as if they didn't have enough speed on the pitch, Benny.
Yeah, and he hasn't scored in his Magic career yet. 10 in 19. 10 goals in 19 for Hasselholms in the Swedish second division. And scored for fun for the Jets back in 2016. 13 goals in that season. As Sikulski bends it. Higgins! Won't he love that against his former club? Just his second goal since 2009. And our Adamstown on their way to ending this 20-year hoodoo.
Well, it was a really well-worked free kick. A little bit of a variation. A deep cross. Nobody had counted on Benny Higgins peeling away at the back post. And as it floated over, he still had a bit of work to do, Benny. It was a great header. Downward, out of reach from Paul Bitts. And didn't he love that? The new baby, Oliver, at home watching, no doubt. Little baby rocking celebration. Jodie, his wife, I'm sure, is watching at home. And it's a rarity. Josh Piddington and Ben Higgins scoring in the same match.
Both captains as well. How often would you see that? Not that often when the two captains are opposing centre backs. And all of a sudden the intensity is just lifted. And Chris Berlin against his former club, he's thinking, how good would it be to score the winner? Mitch Oxborough, between the lines, Carl Bradbury, he'd love to score the winner as well. Early's dink was a little too hard for James Vigili.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that was a shot or a little across there, back across for James Vigili, but probably would like that one again, Carl Bradbury. Not one of his better opportunities.
They've shown so much heart this afternoon, Adamstown Rosebud. And I'll tell you what, I was praising them. I praised them early on in the season. I said they were my dark horse. And after round one, when they got beaten by Valentine, I still praised them. And then after the last couple of rounds, I thought I had some egg on my face. But this afternoon, they are proving that they do have the medal that I was talking about early on in the season.
And they've been good value for their, for their 1-1 so far. They've ridden their luck early on in both halves, but they've weathered the storm and they've created some good opportunities.
Good young side. And they're showing plenty of confidence at the moment. They are 1-1 with the champions. That's something to be proud of for a side bottom of the table. 3 straight losses to start the season.
And Benny, I know you love your FFA Cup. We've got a couple of results red hot off the press.
That sounds good. Sounds good to me. Actually, Broadmeadow are wearing their FFA Cup strip this evening. So I just noticed that as John Majerowski left the park. So free kick for Broadmeadow. Fire away.
Off the press, we've got some regional Northern New South Wales FFA Cup games today. We've got a match, Bangalow Blue Dogs from Football Far North Coast got up 2-1 over Coffs Tigers. And Ganelabar went down 5-4 on penalties against the Kempsey Saints. So shout out to those clubs.
This ball bent in and headed away by Chris Berlin, who is doing some grunt work at the back now. And now Matt Sikulski has the open pastures ahead of him. Fires it out to the far side for Beasley. And Sikulski, it took a deflection and it's landed behind the goal, and it will be a corner kick.
An important little touch there from Josh Piddington, just got something on it.
He scored a goal in the first half and he's saved one there, potentially.
Tricky little situation now for Broadmeadow. You know, as they go on, and obviously they'll try and win this match, and as they go on to do that, you know, will they leave themselves open for a quick transition for Adamstown to potentially cause an upset?
Well, we've only got one match in round 4 this weekend with all the other 4 matches washed out, but it has been well worth it. Josh Piddington nodded away. We've had a cracking showdown.
Benny, just looking at those FFA Cup results, is there a better club name in northern New South Wales than the Blue Dogs?
That is a cracker. It's Manoli Pappas beats a couple. Chris Berlin into the back of the net. That is sweet. And for the second match in a row, Chris Berlin scores against his former side. The two former Magic men coming back to haunt their former side. 2-1 to Adamstown.
And you can't say it's not deserved. A fantastic piece of play again on the right-hand edge. A good little cutback, and Chris Berlin, if you give him those opportunities, six metres out from goal, he does not miss. And the Magic old boys have come back to haunt their former side.
It's been almost 20 years since Adamstown beat Broadmeadow Magic in the league. Is it about to happen this afternoon in front of our very eyes?
The champions with a bit of work to do here.
Well, this kettle is boiling, and it could be boiling over. Mitch Oxborough bending, and Ben Kelly. Oh, for a moment then I thought it may have been over him. And then he fumbled it, and then he's clutched it in. Remembering that coming into this match, Adamstown had scored just once in their last 5 against Broadmeadow Magic. As Beasley down the far side gives away a free kick. Fair enough.
In all of that, Justin Broadley replaced by your man. So we see some scores coming in.
Wellington leading the Jets 2-1. The Jets were down 2-0, and they just have scored through Roy O'Donovan. So 2-1 in that one.
I was just saying, yeah, your man Cody Carroll on the pitch for Justin Broadley.
Great young player, scored in that match against Adamstown last year in round 6 in the 4-0 win that Broadmeadow Magic had. It's a little bit tougher this evening.
I say your man, Benny, because I remember clearly a game in cold conditions in Canberra when Cody came on in an FFA Cup match. I think he might have been calling with Daniel McBreen at the time.
Oh, was he? Had a great game. I thought he was the best player on the park.
A very good game. A very good game, and I do remember you were quite impressed.
As Christian Brymora goes to ground, you heard the sound there as he thudded into the turf, and they're not happy. The Adamstown backline, you could see Ollie Davies gesturing to Mark Cutter, saying, "How is that a free kick?" Well, it is,
yeah.
And a great chance. Is it too close though?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's the you need to get these ones up and down pretty quickly. You've got Mitch Oxborough though, who's done this everywhere he's been. He's on the ball straight away. Ollie Davies they're just a little bit too eager. I think Christian Brymora got his body in a great position. And
well, these are the moments, aren't they? When you're under pressure, you're down 2-1. This is when the big players step up and put it in the top corner. Can he do so? Oxborough! Well, he can. It took a little deflection. He's done exactly that. And it's 2-2, Mitch Oxborough. A big player standing tall for the champions.
You're exactly right, Benny. When you need your big players to step up, you look to the Mitch Oxboroughs, you look to Josh Piddingtons, and they've both stepped up today. I'm not exactly sure who that ended up coming off, whether it was an Adamstown player or
maybe off the post potentially. Is Mark
a yellow
Carter
card coming out,
going the way of Drew Grierson.
But either way, Broadmeadow Magic won't care who it came off. It's in the net, and it gives them a step forward to try and come back and win this match.
It's been a really good second half, hasn't it?
It has. I was just about to say, Benny, it's early days in the season, but Broadmeadow will want 3 points here just to stay in contact. Always good to win a match when you're the only game of the weekend on, just to get your nose in front of those chasing you. You can sit back and relax while the other clubs have midweek matches to contend with. A busy period coming up for NPL clubs. FFA Cup about to begin soon. Some washout matches already in the NPL competition. So there'll be their fair share of midweek football coming up, which is great for the viewers. Difficult sometimes for coaches just to manage that.
So the sun fully down at Adamstown Oval as the lights look to take effect inside the final 20 minutes. Bad news for Jets fans. The Phoenix are up 3-1. So turn that off. David Williams with a hat-trick. Turn the TV off and just watch this, because this is going to be a fascinating final 20. Vigili nudges it wide. And it was Mitch Oxborough there waiting at the back post. Here's Hoole, who is going to stand tall and score the winner. There's Drew Grierson, who's been mighty this afternoon. Fires it over the sideline. Oxborough just scored the free kick. And now towards Brian Mora. What a way to announce himself in magic colours with a winner here at Adamstown Oval. Remembering that Broadmeadow led 1-0 for much of this match. And then Chris Berlin put Adamstown ahead after Ben Higgins equalised, and now he wins a free kick.
The old Fox Chris Berlin, I think, might have got away with a little handball there. Luke Vigili remonstrating with Mark Carter, the referee. Bit of experience shown there from Berlin. Good mates, of course, Vigili and Berlin.
Here is Chris Berlin, just trying to lay it off to Beasley. Enzor won it back for Broadmeadow Magic. Now Cody Carroll. Some space ahead of him. Curves it into the path of Matt Hoole. Passes it back to Carroll. Oxborough. Ryan Enzor against the far touchline. Now Cale Bradbury still waiting for his first goal of the season. Oxborough now. Making the run down towards the byline is John Griffiths. Now Ryan Enzor. Tried to cut it back and well blocked by Manoli Pappas. So 2-2.
All hands on deck for the corner here for Adamstown Rosebud. Chris Berlin makes his way back in to give Ben Kelly a bit of protection.
And Jacob Dowse getting ready to come on for Broadmeadow Magic as this one bent in. Sikulski got the left boot in the way of the ball, but it'll still be a Broadmeadow Magic throw. It's back in again, and Ben Kelly strong in the air.
He's been good today, Ben Kelly. He's looked confident, he's been strong. Hasn't made too many mistakes. Apart from that one.
It always happens like that, Hainsey.
Might have been trying for a 40-20.
You praise someone and they immediately make a mistake, it seems. There's Cody Carroll just in front of us. And Ben Kelly, it was the first half where Magic had a few chances to go ahead 2 and 3-0, where he saved the day for Adamstown. As Enzor. And now Oxborough just dips it onto the head of Drew Grierson. Nudged back in. The swivel and spin from Christian Brian Moore almost paid off.
Higgins standing strong.
Now Berlin. Sikulski couldn't quite reel it in. And Pinnington with a scuffed ball up the ground. Higgins away on the volley. Pappas. Now Connor Hayden.
He's been pretty good today, Pappas, as well. Benny, I've been impressed with him. He's worked hard, long periods without the ball.
And Connor Hayden as well, playing in a deeper role. We saw him up front for a majority of last season, but with Chris Berlin up there tonight, Connor Hayden's been great.
Absolutely.
And Shane Counsdale Sheriff just holding off the changes at this point. He's very happy with what he's seeing out there from his 11.
It was probably one of those ones. While they're doing such a good job with their discipline and their shape, you probably don't want to throw too many spanners in the works and change too much if you don't have to.
Cody Carroll. And then Grierson. Is it going to be a penalty? Yes, it is. It was a late decision from Mark Carter. It was on Matt Hoole from Drew Grierson, who's been so good this afternoon. And as we say, when things aren't going your way, they don't go your way. And to be honest, I thought that was a little soft. There's a yellow card coming out for dissent. I'm not sure who it went the way of.
Was it Pappas? He was there or thereabouts.
That'd be my guess, Manoli Pappas, but don't want to throw him under the bus if it wasn't him. And Aidan Von Essen getting ready to come to the sideline. It's all turned around for Adamstown. They're up 2-1.
James Virgili with the ball on the spot.
Scored in round 1. Just 1 goal in his last 5, James Virgili. Did score that magical goal in round 1 against Edgeworth to equalise in that match. So Virgili, for his 2nd of the season, he just drills it down the middle. And Ben Kelly is arguing about encroachment, I think.
There's a VAR here, Ben?
There's no VAR. It's 3-2 to Broadmeadow Magic. The comeback is complete.
And they have a point, to be fair, Adamstown. There was definitely not just players in yellow inside the area, but yeah, a fair bit of frustration out there. But 3-2 it is. Virgili struck it really well. Sokolsky and Virgili having a not so polite discussion about the penalty situation.
So Adamstown, for the 2nd time this evening, they're going to have to come from behind. As Ben Higgins tried to roll it out wide into the path of the new man, Aidan Von Essen. Well, haven't we witnessed a really, really fascinating contest tonight? And after there was a bit of frustration on the Broadmeadow front, now it's turned around totally.
Yeah, it was, and it's unfortunate, isn't it? I mean, it's football through and through. We're talking about how good a game Grierson's had. He's been outstanding, and yet he's the one that unfortunately gives away the penalty that gives James
What is it,
Virgili.
the curse?
It is the curse.
Sorry, Drew.
It's unfortunate. He's been outstanding and remains outstanding, but it's James Virgili who puts his team in front 3-2. With a well-taken penalty. Interestingly, I thought there might have been an opportunity, and maybe if it wasn't 2-2 at the time, I thought there might have been an opportunity to get Cale Bradbury off the mark with a penalty, but James Virgili's obviously the identified penalty taker and wants to add to his tally, which he did.
Yeah, doubled his goal-scoring tally for the year. Remembering that Ollie Smith leads the Golden Boot race at this point with 4 goals. There was a little bit of fear about him during that game a couple of weeks ago, or last week, where he went down injured, but he's A-OK. Throw from Grierson up the line. Sokolsky has smacked into James Virgili. We were saying those two were exchanging a few heated words moments ago. And then James Virgili just gives his hair a little bit of a rub there. So definitely the tension flowing between the opposing number 7s, and Sokolsky, I think, is having a bit of a chuckle. So watch this space. Virgili v Sokolsky.
There you go.
Sokolsky rocketed off the deflection of John Griffiths and over the sideline. They're looking to go quickly, as you'd expect. Grierson hangs it up in the evening sky. Graham and Oxborough, they've had a duel this afternoon. And it's Broadmeadow Magic with the 3-2 advantage. If you have just joined us, Piddington put them ahead early. Ben Higgins responded in the second half. Then Chris Berlin put Adamstown ahead before Broadmeadow Magic found a couple. Mitch Oxborough with the free kick, and then James Virgili with the penalty. Cody Carroll got it out from under his boot. Hoole. And Vigili, you can see Anthony Wood in number 30 getting ready for Adamstown. And Vigili loses out to Drew Grierson, who goes for a marauding run down the left and then ran out of puff in the end. Turned it over. The 20-year-old. And now Oxborough. Cale Bradbury, 6 in his last 4 against Adamstown, and that one closer to the trees than the goal.
Yeah, not one of his best there, Cale Bradbury, but it won't bother him. It won't bother him. That's why he's in the side. You don't score if you don't shoot, it's the old saying.
So there's Anthony Wood heading out there. The young man who debuted in their last match in that defeat to Lambton Jaffers. Started in that one. And Chris Berlin gets a round of applause from the Rosebuds faithful.
Yeah, well played, Chris Berlin. Good shift. Tough outing. Isolated for long periods. Held the ball up really well for his team. Scored a fantastic goal.
Now Sikulski brought to ground by John Griffiths.
Gets worse for the Jets. Ben 4-1. Sarpreet Singh with a goal for the Wellington Phoenix.
It's just one of those stories, isn't it? When you're having one of those seasons like Wellington are having, you seem to rack up the goals like the Jets did last year. So here is Sikulski towards the back post. Up they rise. Appeals for a corner kick. It won't be a corner kick, just the goal kick. It was Josh Williams rising up at the far post.
He got up well as well. He got up over Luke Vigili. Couldn't get the contact that he wanted. And that ended up over the byline for a goal kick.
Well, less than 5 minutes to travel in this one now. They're so close to 3 points in 2 consecutive matches, Broadmeadow Magic. And here they are, a chance to seal it. Speeding away with Bradbury as he cut it back. Now a neat turn from Anthony Wood. Got away from the run of Cody Carroll. Ryan Ensor now under pressure from Anthony Wood.
He's done well there, Ryan Ensor. Good turn away from...
Now Oxborough swings it into the path of Vigili. This to seal it. And Drew Grierson again. Got himself in between the striker and goal. Sikulski. Up he looks. He sees Aidan Von Essen. Former Magic man. Didn't play first grade with Magic, but youth football. Aidan Von Essen and Piddington and Von Essen. There's tension out there in all parts of the ground. Whipped in by Sikulski. Back goes Anthony Wood. He's got some work to do to track this one down.
Yeah, I'm not sure Josh Piddington would be the one I'd be picking on if I was a new player into the league. But hey, he might as well start at the top, I guess.
No, the 18-year-old got plenty of confidence, you can see there. He was happy to take on the Magic captain. Carroll.
It's been good since he's come on, Cody Carroll. He's controlled the tempo of the game. He came on when they needed a boost. He sped things up. He got on the ball quite a lot, played forward, and now the experience of Carroll, Griffith, Oxborough in the middle of the park, just controlling the tempo, slowing it down when they've got an opportunity and just trying to drag this one out.
Came on when they were down 2-1, I believe, Cody Carroll. And this match has done a 180-degree turn since then. So here's Jacob Dowse walking up to halfway.
Another player, Ben, that's had a pretty tough time with injury over his young career.
Yeah, since that goal he scored against Edgeworth in 2017 to send that one into penalties, I believe it was, late on. I remember that late goal after Daniel McBreen put Edgeworth basically through to the grand final. He made it 2-1 to Magic and it went to penalties. And since then, he's really struggled last year. He had a wretched run, early season injury. And James Vigili, you don't see him fired up too often, do you? And he's really red hot at the moment.
Interesting change. Zadkovic maybe giving Virgili a little bit of a rest. A couple of minutes early mark there. He's had a good game.
You're just having a chat to Anthony Richards.
And goes Jacob Dowse. Good to see Dowsey back on the park for such a young player. He's had a couple of knee reconstructions already in his career. Another injury to the start of this season.
Here's a strike from distance, and Ben Kelly got arms to it, and it's gone wide of goal, which is probably a good thing, because for a moment then I thought it may be squirming in.
Yeah, good save. Frustrated with himself he didn't hold that one, but had a little bit too much on it. He's been good today, Ben Kelly. He'll be disappointed that it's another 3 goals in the back of the net, but he's been rock solid. Not too much he could have done for the goals from Broadmeadow's end. A deflection, a penalty included.
And you look at Adamstown this season, if they lose this afternoon, it'll be 4 straight, but in 3 of them they've been right in the contest. Valentine, they were up in that particular match, leading by a goal to nil, lost that 2-1. They got back to 2-2 against Western in round 2. And then this afternoon they led 2-1 against Broadmeadow Magic. And they just couldn't hang on from that point. Can they find themselves an equaliser though? That would show some mental strength and character.
Good play there. John Griffiths at the back dealt with 2 Adamstown defenders calmly out of traffic. They've won themselves a free kick through Matt Hoole. And they'll just slow things down again with Ryan Enzor on the ball. Leaves it for Luke Virgili.
So next week, Adamstown face off against Charlestown. Broadmeadow facing Maitland. So some heavyweight contests there for both of these 2 sides. The ball has found its way over the byline.
Yeah, another game with its history of plenty of goals, Ben. Maitland and Broadmeadow.
Yeah, and they had that semi-final series, which went down to the wire last year, with Broadmeadow emerging 3-2 victors. Oxborough just able to nudge it wide for Jacob Dowse. Speeding off down that far side of the ground. Plenty of attacking players out there for Broadmeadow Magic. Bradbury just over on this near side, with Dowse over on the left and Brian Mora. Almost got, well they have, they've got 2 front threes.
It's not bad, is it?
And 2 front threes that you'd be happy with at any other club in the league, wouldn't you?
Exactly right. I'm sure there's a few clubs out there who'd like to take a couple of those players off their hands.
There's Dowse with a spin. And Adamstown giving away a few free kicks here. Frustration just kicking in. It'll be the second time in 4 years that they would have started the season with 4 consecutive defeats. 2016 they started with 7 that year, so they won't want to get anywhere near that. But they've, once again, been there and thereabouts. It's just the crucial moments. That's the difference.
Absolutely, and Shane Cansell-Sheriff, I'm sure, will look at the positive side of the last few games. This one especially, they've taken it to the champions, and
here we go. A little bit of tension. Cody Carroll and
Alex himself in a bit of mischief there.
Out comes the yellow card. There's Alex Graham there.
There's the send-off.
It's a red card. Well, we'll find out who has been red carded.
Still some handbags flying around there. Matthew Hoole.
As the scuffle continues. Well, who is it? It's Alex Graham, who's being pulled away. We did see a red card, so who is it? Looked as though Cody Carroll had gone in to the book for a yellow card.
There's nobody. Nobody's leaving the field, Ben.
Well, Mark Carter. Has this ball launched long? I swear I saw a red card come out there.
That's
bizarre.
Yeah.
We'll have to get to the bottom of that as the ball bounces down towards Adamstown's attacking end of the ground as they look to find a late equaliser. It won't be enough though. Normal service resumes for Broadmeadow. They claim the 3 points against the Rosebuds. And the 19-year wait for a league victory for Adamstown against Broadmeadow goes on. And by the middle of the year, next time they play in June, it will be more than 20 years since a victory for the Buds against Magic. In some fancy sense, we'll be wondering whether it will ever happen. Next week, Broadmeadow Magic, they play Maitland Saturday at 5 p.m, a big match that one. And Charlestown face Adamstown Sunday at 2:30, so two important matches there. But in this one, it was Broadmeadow Magic who were able to fight back after being down by 2-1. Full-time, Adamstown Rosebud 2, Broadmeadow Magic 3. And Peter Haynes, we'll just keep a watchful eye over this because it was simmering away there. And the Rosebuds, they'll be frustrated with that penalty decision late on. And also the red card. I thought that I saw a red card
there
come
was
out.
Definitely a red card in amongst all of that commotion on the far side of the field. No idea who it was directed to or if it was put up in accident. Obviously was the case. But look, probably what could have been for Adamstown up against the champions. Good performance from a young Adamstown side. Got themselves in the game after a rough start to the first half. Got in front through a goal from Chris Berlin, but just couldn't do enough to hang on. They'll be disappointed. Broadmeadow, on the other hand, it's a valuable 3 points. Probably not the performance that they're after. They'll be expected to become much better if they're looking to replicate their feats from last season. But 3 points is 3 points, Ben, and they'll take that into another massive game next week against Maitland.
Well, Hainsey, thanks for your company this evening. I know the next week's match of the round is Lake Macquarie up against the Jets Youth next Saturday night. Bar TV will be covering that one as well. And as I said, yeah, thanks for being alongside me for this one. A really good contest, the only match to go ahead in round 4.
Absolutely, Ben. Always a pleasure.
And
see you again soon, hopefully.
Yes, I will, no doubt. Well, thanks for your company tonight. In the end, Broadmeadow Magic, the champions, their class showed, and they get the job done 3-2 against Adamstown Rosebud. We'll catch you next week.